With a traditional but unique outlook on the legal industry and a history of multi-specialisation, Slaughter & May is perhaps one of the more interesting of the Magic Circle law firms. But how can you make sure your application stands out and secure an offer? Find out in this video. Hey everyone, India here from TapIn, and today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about getting into the Magic Circle law firm, Slaughter & May. Before we get started, for those of you that are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to TapIn and hit that notification bell. That way, when we release new videos like these, you'll get notified. We create videos on how to get into some of the world's best companies. Remember, we do the research, you get the internship. If you're applying or have applied to Slaughter & May or any other law firm, leave a comment down below and let us know where you're applying and drop us any questions you might have. We've timestamped every section in this video, so if you'd like to just skip to a particular section, check out the description box down below. When you think of the most prestigious London-based law firms, Slaughter & May must be in the mix. In fact, they are seen as the most profitable UK law firm by revenue per equity partner. As such, whether you're looking for an internship or a trainee position, Slaughter & May is worth looking into. Slaughter & May is broadly split into 24 practices and 18 industry sectors, and their clients include 35 of the FTSE 100, arguably the largest amount of any of the major London law firms. Of those 24 practices, they are classed by Chambers UK as being industry leading in banking and finance, competition law, corporate and MA, financial crime, insurance, and tax, many of which overlap with the seat options available. In fact, they are considered by many as the premier corporate law firm of the Magic Circle. Their mantra of great minds think differently underpins their diversity and inclusion front. Statistically speaking, 43% of their UK associates are female and 18% of their UK associates are BAME, which is some of the highest in the industry. But with regards to diversity and inclusion initiatives, other law firms do seem to have more initiatives set up to really consolidate the ethos. Nonetheless, this impression can be challenged by Slaughter & May's Africa Essay Prize, a competition for law and non-law students to answer an essay question that combines your legal and business understanding in the context of the African market. They work especially close with the LGBTQ+ organisations, with a number of their partners and employees being featured in the outstanding top LGBT and ally executive list, and featuring in Stonewall's top 100 employers for LGBTQ+ staff. Prominently, they also rank in the Social Mobility Employer Index's top 50 social mobility employers, showing that law, at least in Slaughter & May, is no longer seen as an upper-class-only pursuit. If your interest lies in international markets, Slaughter & May does have offices in Beijing, Brussels and Hong Kong, as well as their main office in London, but arguably their focus and excellence lies more in the strategic partnerships with local firms. As such, if international opportunities are on top of your list, then a career in Slaughter & May not be your best option. If, however, you just want a taste of the international lifestyle, they do offer both trainees and associates the chance to work abroad on secondment, or in one of their overseas offices. Perhaps unique to Slaughter & May is their emphasis on multi-specialisation, wherein they expect all their employees to be adept in multiple practices and industries, allowing their employees to work on many different projects and bring to bear knowledge from successes in many disparate areas. This goes hand in hand with reported impressive training offerings, and as such, someone who likes lifelong learning and is excited to work in many areas would suit Slaughter & May to a T. Generally, Slaughter & May is reported to have long working hours with a reported average leave time of around 8 p.m. and an almost overwhelming expectation for attention to detail and excellence that only the most prestigious firms can demand. But don't worry, despite the challenge to get in and long working hours, Slaughter & May consistently ranks among the top few major law firms for trainee retention rate, meaning those who get in tend to stay, so surely it's worth it. Perhaps this is due to their reportedly impressive training offerings, the approximately £10,000 grant for the GDL and LPC, or perhaps the rise in salary to the dizzying heights of around £100,000 for newly qualified lawyers from the £45,000 of the first-year trainee. Either way, employees tend to like life at Slaughter & May. So now that we've talked about Slaughter and May, let's get into their offerings for students before we jump right into the application process for their trainee scheme. Slaughter and May offers a variety of schemes for students in all years of university. For first years, both studying law and non-law degrees, they offer a one-day open day in their London office, which is primarily focused on showing students a glimpse into the legal profession, while offering ample time to chat more informally with all levels of staff in the company. For penultimate year students, they offer both an Easter 1-week work experience scheme and a summer 3-week scheme. This is their most expensive offering, for students paying £450 a week and sitting you alongside an associate to provide you with project work that will assist them, and a trainee to guide you so that you don't drown from being thrown into the deep end. This scheme also includes training, workshops, case studies, all alongside and to support the legal work you are given. And don't worry if you're not a law student, this scheme is also for everyone. For final year students of all varieties, they offer a winter 2-day workshop, which seems to be a more detailed expansion on the Insight Day for first years. Thankfully, you don't have to worry about your expenses on the open day nor the 2-day workshop, as Slaughter and May kindly provide travel accommodation expenses for the 2-day event. In terms of the application process for these schemes, they all require you to fill out an online application, including a thorough breakdown of your grades, and put a lot of emphasis on your CV, whilst also evaluating your covering letter, so you ensure that you've worked on each. The covering letter shouldn't be especially long, but is useful for explaining any gaps in your CV, extenuating circumstances, etc., etc. Perhaps think about going to CV workshops provided by your university, or check out the video on the card where we discuss our thoughts on how to make an eye-popping CV. For the work experience scheme, expect to have to attend an interview in London, on campus, or via Skype if you're lucky enough to be in the 4-year course and currently on a year abroad. You should be able to discuss both your CV and cover letter in depth, while also engaging the interviewers, who tend to be an associate and partner, in a discussion on a short current affairs article. But don't worry, you'll be provided with this article before the interview, so hopefully you're not flying in blind. Remember, like most major firms, Slaughter and May also holds main presentations on university campuses, so keep an eye out and perhaps join your local law society to keep in the loop. The most important scheme for anyone looking to get into law after completing their undergraduate and join any major law firm is the trainee scheme. Slaughter and May is no different in this regard. At the time of recording, their trainee scheme offers approximately 85 training contracts a year, and at a starting salary of 45k going to 51k on your second year of being trainee, after which you're expected to become newly qualified, which boasts a salary of around 100k. You should aim for a minimum of a 2-1 in either a law or non-law degree to stand yourself in good stead to get a spot. But Slaughter and May does employ the rare contextual recruitment system, which puts your grades into their socio-economic and educational context, meaning that people overachieving in worse circumstances still have a good chance. Don't procrastinate on your application though, as Slaughter and May uses a rolling basis for giving out contracts, so get in there fast in October, or seats may fill up before you even apply. It's important to note that your studies don't stop if you get an offer, as you will be required to sit a 7.5-month accelerated legal practice course if you're accepted and have completed a law undergraduate degree. And all non-law graduates or Scottish law graduates will have to further sit a graduate diploma in law, both of which are covered by Slaughter and May. So in essence, you're applying for a trainee seat for 2 years after the application is submitted, if you submit in October. If you're successful with your application, you will then be invited to an interview. This is where the fun begins. You will have to complete a written exercise, an interview with 2 partners, a chat, and a tour of the office with a current trainee, and finally a short HR interview. Let's go into a little bit more depth. The written exercise is a twist on the more usual case study style assessment centre exercise, where usually you would be in a group and all have disparate information. With Slaughter and May, you work alone and have all the information. Approximately 5 to 6 pages of reading. This reading tends to be based on a fictional company going through a strategic review. You would then be tasked to write this into a report. One of the underrated skills for succeeding on the written exercise is time management, as you are only given 1 hour to complete this task. Arguably, the amount of information you are given is intended to not only be used to assess your analysis skills, but also to try and make the management especially difficult to see how you react to the time pressure. Don't forget that they will also be looking to judge how you approach analysis and your judgment, but they also want to judge your written communication skills as well. So don't compromise on writing accuracy in the name of saving time. Top tip, don't forget that Slaughter & May is known as a major force in the corporate legal space, so be prepared for both the written assignment and the following interviews to have a high likelihood of questions. Reading the most recent articles on the Financial Times and Economist may go a long way in giving you that extra 1% you may need to succeed. Following the written assignment, you will be given a short article and 15 minutes with which to read it. You will then have an interview with 2 Slaughter & May partners who will be looking for articulation, assimilation of information, and how you defend your points. Don't be worried if they take a devil's advocate role, as this doesn't reflect negatively on your performance. They're instead trying to see how you deal with conflict and how you articulate, persuade, and defend your ideas. Top tip, don't be afraid to concede some points. As much as they are testing your skills, it reflects well on you that you can adapt your ideas and concede necessary ground if there are clear flaws in your initial ideas. Given you only have 15 minutes to form your opinion, this will not be held against you. On the whole though, if you can show concise yet well thought out opinions, stick to your guns and don't get flustered if you get the privilege of a partner who likes a strong debate. Slaughter & May provides some example questions you may face in this interview. Can you summarise the key issues raised in this article? What are the main themes, arguments and conclusion, if any? Do you agree or disagree with the arguments put and the position taken in the article, and why? Are the arguments provided in the article coherent and logical? Are there relevant issues which are not touched on or developed in this article? This is also a chance for the partners to question your CV, and you can expect some discussion on that. If you have any gaps in your CV, it may be worth being able to professionally articulate the reason for such gaps. Keep in mind that depending on the partners, they may ask you questions regarding why you applied to Slaughter & May, as opposed to other firms. It would be helpful to keep in mind the unique selling points of Slaughter & May, such as multi-specialization and their strategic partnerships as an international approach. The office tour tends to follow the written exercise and is approximately 1 hour. This is your chance to see if Slaughter & May is a good fit for you. Although the trainee is alleged not to report back to the recruitment team, I would recommend to still keep it professional. The day will conclude with an HR interview where you'll be asked to reflect on the activities of the day. Don't be tempted to only talk about the positives of the day. It shows reflectiveness and an ability to learn to highlight mistakes you feel you have made. This is the point where you will tend to be asked, why Slaughter & May? So it's important to brush up on the company. Perhaps come back and watch this video again. Well, this brings us to the end of the video, guys. Make sure you check out the link to our website in the description bar below. We've written a detailed step-by-step guide on how to secure an offer with Slaughter & May. And whilst you're there, consider signing up and joining the TapIn community. Thank you for watching, guys. If you found this useful, hit the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Share this video and help us on our mission to prepare 100 million young people for the world of work. We do weekly videos preparing you for internships and grad jobs, and have loads more videos on how to get vacation schemes and training contracts at law firms. Click here to check some of those out. If you have any questions, video ideas, or anything at all, let us know in the comments. We'll try to respond to all the comments we get on our videos. I've been India for TapIn, and I'll see you next time.